Hey everybody, Eric here with the weekly wrap up for November 16th through November 22nd on my channel. On Monday, I had a review for Exploring the Labyrinth, Volume 1 by Kit Power. And that was a nonfiction book. On Wednesday was Reading Remembrances for February of 2009. And there was no video on Friday because I haven't caught up on my reading. But hopefully you'll check out those other two videos. Let's see. As far as my reading goes, I finished this book that I have to now record a review for. And this is Dungeons and Dragons Ravenloft Heir to Strahd by Delilah S. Dawson. Love that cover. Nice picture on the back. So I finished that. And I am currently reading a book that I received this past Monday. So I'm going to show you the dust jacket because it's not on the book, because I'm reading the book. That is Star Wars Master of Evil by Adam Christopher. So I'm a little over halfway through this one. So, as it stands, probably not going to have a video this coming Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, because by the time I finish this, I'm not going to be in the mood to record in the middle of the week. So that's what went on my channel. That's what I've been reading, and I also read Deadpool Batman comic book. So a month ago, 2 months ago, Marvel, technically Marvel and DC, but this was sort of Marvel's headliner, was Deadpool Batman. Wait, is that what I just said? Deadpool Batman is the one that came out a couple months ago, and it has a story where Batman and Deadpool team up, and then a bunch of even shorter stories, just a few pages each, one with like Captain America and Wonder Woman, one with Jeff the Shark and Crypto the Wonder Dog, or Super Dog, Green Arrow and Daredevil. Can't remember all of them. So now, just this past week, Marvel and DC again, but this time DC headlining, so it was called Batman Deadpool. And again, another story where Batman and Deadpool meet. Very bizarre, written by Grant Morrison, and then more team-up stories, Nightwing and Laura Kinney Wolverine, which was my favorite story in the whole thing. And John Constantine and Doctor Strange, which I liked a lot because I'm a big fan of both of those characters. So read that comic book. Let's see. Let's talk about work. Work was fine. 40 hours making kits. I'm pretty sure that's all we're going to be doing for the rest of the year. And this coming week, Thanksgiving week, we're only working 3 days. We're off on Thursday and Friday for the Thanksgiving holiday. And we've had a little bit of a schedule change. And I think pretty much everybody in the building, I don't know about the whole company, but in our building, we're going to work 10 hours on Monday, 10 hours on Tuesday, from 5 to 3:30. So I'm going in an hour early, staying an hour late. But then on Wednesday, because we only need 24 hours for the week, on Wednesday, we're going to work from 5 o'clock until 9 o'clock in the morning, 4 hours, and then we're done. All the rest of that day off, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday off. Then we're going to work some full weeks until the week of Christmas, when we're only working 2 days. Looking forward to that. And then the new year, a week later, working 3 days, 2 days off. And as soon as January 1st hits, all our PTO, all our unpaid time off, and this will be the first year since I started January 20th. You get an extra 8 hours as your birthday PTO, but you can use it anytime. You don't have to just use it on your birthday, which would suck for me since my birthday is on Thanksgiving this year. But that's basically what's going on with work. I really kind of hope these 24 hours that we're working is just kits because it's very casual, very easy to do. Um, and that's what I'm looking for with a short week, is just nice and easy days. So let's get to the thing that I think everybody is here for. Stuff that I got. Now, most of this are things that I ordered from cheapgraphicnovels.com, and it all just sort of arrived at the same time. It's 3 different orders, but most of it was special order, which means they don't have it in stock. They have to get it from their distributor, so it takes longer. And if you have like a special order with things that aren't special order, they're not going to ship partial orders. It's going to be, the whole order is going to wait until they have everything. But before we get to that, one of my coworkers, Mercedes Heater, sent me a link to a website because of a specific book. I mentioned this before, but I did not have the books yet. It's like bookshop.com or something. I can't remember what the site is called. They sell remainders, and so I've had these 2 books on my wish list. I've already read them. I had the paperbacks. I read them. I loved them, but I wanted these special editions, and they were like $6 a piece at this website. So what I got now, first I'll show you. Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree, and it's got a nice dust jacket. It's got these nice edges. It's got nice pictures inside. Just very nice additions. Little illustrations. And then, along with that, Bookshops and Bone Dust, Travis Baldree. Again, nice edges, nice pictures, little illustrations for the chapter headings, and yeah, so $6 a piece. Cover price is $30, according to the dust jacket here. The only downside is that the Legends and Lattes was damaged. It looks like it was cut with a razor, so you can see, yeah, I think you can see that pretty well. The cut and this little piece that was kind of missing. I tried to color it with a colored pencil, but it wouldn't take. But I taped it. It's taped on the inside, and then I put a little piece of tape on the outside. For $6, I'm really not going to complain. And so, very nice. The 3rd book in this series, trilogy, just came out. Brigands and something. Bread Knives or something. I don't remember what it's called. And I'm going to wait and see. Hopefully, it will come out in a matching edition. So, would love to jump on it and read it, but I'm going to wait and see if it comes out in one of these. But yeah, $6 a piece. Not too bad. And then, of course, the Star Wars book arrived the same day, last Monday, Star Wars Master of Evil. But then, all of my stuff from Cheap Graphic Novels arrived. And let's see. Those 2 came together. Those 2 and these 2. Okay, so what we have here, let me try to make a little more room for some place to set them after I show them off. We have Magic Unleashed. This is volume 1 of the 2025 series of the character Magic. She's a mutant. She's the sister of Colossus, played by Anya Taylor-Joy in the movie New Mutants, which I didn't think was the worst movie I've ever seen. I believe this is the first 5 issues, And I'm not a huge X-Men fan, but I do like the New Mutants a lot, and I like the character of Magic. So, um, should be a fun read. It's got demons and stuff, so hopefully, hopefully it's good. Then we have Hollow's Eve, another Marvel comic, and this is a mini series, issues 1 through 5. This is a character that was introduced in one of the Spider-Man titles, or maybe one of the giant Spider-Man events. I don't know exactly, but it's this woman who has a bag of masks, and whatever mask she puts on, she basically becomes that. So, she puts on a werewolf mask, she becomes a werewolf. She puts on a Captain America mask, she's essentially Captain America. So, very cool concept in my opinion. And I've never read anything with this character, but I figured I would check out the miniseries. And it was like half off because it's cheapgraphicnovels.com. Then we have another one from Marvel, Predator versus Spider-Man. Since Disney owns everything now, they own Marvel. Then they bought Fox, which gave them Planet of the Apes, Aliens, Predator. And there was a Predator versus Wolverine, Predator versus Black Panther, now Predator versus Spider-Man. Of those three, Spider-Man's my favorite character. I will get the other two collections eventually. But this is a 4-issue miniseries. It's a hot summer in New York, and there's basically a rebel, a predator of no honor and no clan. So, and I believe, having flipped through here, that Kraven the Hunter is in here as well, which makes sense. But Predator versus Spider-Man. And then a book that's been on my wish list for a while, and the reason I ordered Predator versus Spider-Man and this next book when I did is because in one of my other orders there was a book that they ended up not being able to get. I don't know why this book is out of print already. It's not that old, but they can't get it at cheapgraphicnovels.com. You can't get it new. You can't get it new from Amazon. And so you have to buy it from a third party. They have them on eBay from, people selling them on eBay. So it's more expensive. Again, I don't know. But Cheap Graphic Novels, very nice. They sent me an email, said, we can't get this book for you. You can either just replace it immediately in that specific order, or we can give you a store credit, or we can just refund your money. I said, please give me a store credit, so I have time to find something that I want. And what I ended up with was Predator versus Spider-Man, and this book, Lady Baltimore, the Witch Queen. And this is written by Mike Mignola and Christopher Golden. And it's a continuation of the Baltimore series. Baltimore started as an illustrated novel. It's Baltimore, the Steadfast Soldier versus the Lone Vampire, or something like that. And I have that book. I have not read it. And then there's Baltimore comic books with that character. And then Lady Baltimore, I believe, is a character in those books who now has taken the spotlight. And it's World War II. She's fighting monsters, or at least the cusp of World War II. Early battles of World War II have erupted. Dark forces are rising again. So I like Mike Mignola. I like Christopher Golden. I like period horror. And so Lady Baltimore, the Witch Queen. I really dig that cover. I like that look. Now we're getting into the big stuff. Holy moly. It's late at night, so I'm a little tired. I'm not sure I can pick these up. They're so huge. I'm going to have to take a drink. All right. These are the things I was most excited for. This is G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero, Compendium number 2. Look at the size of this thing. Huge. Over 1,100 pages, I believe, over 1,200 pages. And this is the Marvel stuff. Collects G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero, 51 through 78. G.I. Joe Yearbook, 2 through 4. And G.I. Joe Special Missions, 1 through 15. Tons of stuff. Tons of great Mike Zeck covers. Loved those covers. This is just the classic Marvel G.I. Joe stuff. I have Compendium number 1. I'll get Compendium number 3 when it comes out. I'm like a kid again. But it's a hefty beast. And then, we have Transformers Compendium number 2. Another hefty beast. This one, not quite 1,200 pages. And this does say, experience the conclusion of the original iconic The Transformers comic book series. So I think this might be the only other compendium for Transformers, just the 2 of them. But this collects Transformers 1984, 47 through 80, the Transformers the movie 1 through 3, which is an adaptation of the movie, and the Transformers Generation 2 1 through 12. There's back cover. And again, just love this stuff. I need 48 hours in a day so I can read everything that I want to read, because I want to read through these giant beasts. And then finally, I can't remember if I learned about this through Brian Smith's Facebook post. I saw it. I'm 99% sure I saw it on Facebook. And I know Brian Smith is interested in this. I'm almost certain Brian Smith is interested in this because I know he's a huge fan. And this is a big, like, coffee table book sized book that reprints a long out of print book that I've read. And that book was a collection of things that I read when they were originally published, printed. This is huge. Joe Bob Goes to the Drive-In by Joe Bob Briggs, and it's from Dark Horse Comics, of all places. Big, hefty hardback. Updated edition. The groundbreaking newspaper columnist attacked by politicians, journalists, feminists, preachers, and his own editors as he brought exploitation films out of the closet, featuring art by Mike Norton, introduction by Stephen King. There's the back. So it says the art-sized hardcover edition features Briggs' first columns for the Dallas Times Herald and contains his famous B-movie reviews, fan letters, and his replies, plus Briggs' adventures as the world's foremost expert on drive-ins, some of which haven't been in print for more than 40 years. This expanded, newly designed edition includes a cover by Wallace McBride, interior art by comic book artist Mike Norton, and an introduction by Stephen King featuring Joe Bob Briggs writing on beloved horror classics ranging from Basket Case to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre to The Evil Dead. This book is essential reading for all drive-in cinema and Joe Bob Briggs fans. So, way back in the day, our local newspaper, the Illyria's Chronicle Telegram, published these reviews in their Friday entertainment supplement. I believe it was called Encore. I was thinking about this before starting to record, and I was like, I cannot remember what the name of that was, but I'm pretty sure it was called Encore. And every Friday, this is it's newspaper sized, but it's more like a magazine, a newspaper. You unfold it vertically. This was inside the newspaper, but you unfold it horizontally, and it had all your movie listings for the week and your movie reviews and all your entertainment stuff for the weekend and everything. And they had Joe Bob's Drive-In reviews, and I could not wait to read them every Friday. Very excited to read the reviews. And this is where, if you're familiar with Joe Bob's Last Drive-In on Shudder and how he does his reviews or how he talks about the movies with I'm very quickly looking through here. He would say Boob Foo 2.5, Kung Fu 3.5. I don't see any here as I just flipped through very quickly. But so he had all these foos, gore foo. So he'd rate the things in the movie, but using kung fu, boob foo, beheadings foo, that kind of thing. But what I really, really liked about them, not just that they were reviews of the types of movies that I loved, is that my recollection, each review actually started with a bit of an anecdote. Joe Bob talking about how he and his friends were getting together to go to the drive-in, and I had to go pick up so-and-so, and we stopped at the convenience store to get a six-pack to take with us to the movies, and we ran into so-and-so, and there was an altercation, and we eventually got to the movies, and we watched it. Now here's my review. So very folksy movie reviews. So I read this. I read the columns as they were printed. Then I read this book when it first came out, and there's actually Joe Bob Goes Back to the Drive-In is the second edition. I'm hoping Dark Horse will put out a copy of that. But yes, very, very excited to have this once again in this very nice but very heavy edition, and to read these reviews once again. Basket case. Joe Bob says, oh, here we go. Nope. That was not what I was looking for. What are you going to do? I was looking for the foos again, but I don't see it. Either way, good stuff. Very excited to have it. And that is everything that I picked up this week. Again, sort of these cheap graphic novels.com things were ordered some time ago. All of them had, except the Spider-Man Predator and the Lady Baltimore, those were a replacement thing, and they shipped almost right after I ordered them. And then it just turned out that all the rest of the stuff, which had special orders and were ordered some time ago, just happened to ship. I got the shipping notice like the day or 2 days after the shipping notice for the Spider-Man Predator or Lady Baltimore, but they all arrived at exactly the same time. Two huge boxes. So yes, that is the stuff that I got. So, not much else. Oh, I watched The Substance. Finally watched The Substance. Absolutely loved it. I'm a fan of body horror. It was an incredibly gross movie, an incredibly funny movie, a very artsy movie. Every shot precise, a lot of straight lines and long hallways and very precise colors and everything. One of those, some movies you just sort of watch and you get lost in the movie, hopefully, but the director is absent from the movie, perhaps is the way to say it. And this type of movie, very clearly you're seeing the director's vision. They're not just telling us the story in the best way possible. Well, that doesn't... Ay, puñeta. they're again, some directors disappear from the story. You're just watching the movie, it's presented to you, you're in it, you're watching it. Great. This, at least I was very aware that the director is making, and it's the writer director, making very, very precise decisions for every tiny thing. So, in case anybody doesn't know, this movie stars Demi Moore as an aging actress. I believe she's won an Oscar, the actress in the movie. Unfortunately, Demi Moore was nominated for Best Actress for this movie, but did not win. But she's an aging actress. She has a like a jazzercise TV show, but she gets fired because she's too old, and she's made aware of this thing called the substance that could bring out the best version of herself. And it has very precise rules about how it's used, and I don't want to say anything else, but it is a crazy movie. It's an amazing movie. It's an over-the-top movie, and I thought it was fantastic. Can't wait to watch the special features. I think there's special features on my Blu-ray. So I watched that, and I just watched the first episode of Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. I read the first 5 issues of the comic because that's what was in the first collected edition. That's all I had. And I swear I had watched the first episode when it first came out, but then watching it yesterday, did not remember a single thing. None of it seemed familiar. So maybe I didn't watch it, or I'm just so old, or I've watched so much and read so much that I don't remember. But my coworker, Mercedes Heater, has been screaming at me to watch the show. I've always wanted to watch it. I just don't watch that much. So I'm going to try. And maybe with a 4-day weekend, practically 5 days, maybe I can binge a bunch of it. But I really enjoyed the first episode. It's very cool. And I ordered, there's a deluxe edition for the comic book that has, unfortunately, it has a TV show cover, which is very annoying. But instead of just the first 5 issues, it has the 8 issues. And there's 9 issues. That's it. Why does it only have 8? Where's that 9th issue? So I ordered that. It was like $6 for the hardback. So I'll have that to read the first 8 issues. Plus, it's got a bunch of special material and stills from the TV show and stuff. And then I'm going to check my local comic book store and just see if they happen to have the 9th issue in stock. And if not, it is available on eBay. So I can get that 9th issue eventually. But anyway, yes, watched the first episode of Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. Enjoyed it very much. Going to watch more, which is also cutting into my reading time, which is why apparently I'm only getting 1 review a week done now. But anyway, that is it, I believe. Looking forward to a short work week and a long weekend. My question for you, as always in these videos, does any of this catch your eye? What would you read, if anything, out of all the stuff that I showed you today? Mostly comic book stuff, so I don't know if it's going to catch anybody's eye. But, and how was your week? Let me know in the comments below. If you have any comments, questions, or corrections, please put those in the comments below. Comments are open for spoilers. Just post a spoiler warning. We try to be polite here on my channel. Please like, share, and subscribe, all the usual YouTube stuff. If you care to follow me on other social media, I'll have links for my Instagram and Blue Sky in the description below. That's all I've got for you, so until next time, read more books.